This video is not intended for anyone 13 or younger. Hello viewers and welcome back to another My Hero Academia chapter reaction. I'm your humble host Josh24214 and today we're going to be tackling chapter 283. And on the previous chapter we had Shigaraki returning to full power once again with the quirk erasing bullet does hit Aizawa, but Aizawa chose to chop his own goddamn foot off, Evil Dead style, with a knife. And so Aizawa's out of this fight. And also a lot of shenanigans with Giga still roaming around even after having a goddamn sleeping drug entering his mouth and should have put the beast to sleep. So yeah, so this is clearly our hero's darkest hour at this point in time. So let's dive into the chapter and see where this chapter will go. And as a reminder, make sure to wash your hands and do not go to any big parties at the moment. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It only takes 2 simple clicks. Click, click. Enjoy the episode. Okay, so right off the bat, we get a full page spread of the previous 1A students who were fighting off against Giga from 2 chapters ago, with an extreme expression of shock and they seen something terrible. And we get our chapter for today, and we have the usual title of My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi, translation by Bal Cook, and lettering by Jun Hurt. And the chapter is chapter number 283, which is strangely titled 75. I wonder what that's supposed to represent. And our proper chapter begins from what the students who fought off Giga are seeing, with a giant crater in the ground and seeing the expression of their face that they totally somehow messed up and Giga is still moving. As we get to Cellophane and Tentacle, while Cellophane starts saying, Shoji, are the heroes, And Tentacle just interrupts saying, it's too far. I can't confirm either way. So they're implying that all the heroes are dead. But we quickly caught off to a campsite where Tokoyami has finally returned with Hawks, and Tokoyami managed to save, I guess, the doctors for the heroes, maybe? From what I can see, we have Momo continuing saying, absurd, as we get into Momo's inner dialogue and to what happened with the pro heroes from 2 chapters ago that took the students away from fighting Giga, with Momo saying in her head saying, we only survived because they didn't consider us worthy enemies. And we cut to the next page yeah, with Giga's new form basically becoming a giant hulking brute with his jaw for his bottom jaw transformed upwards to his eyes, and also he comes with razor sharp claws. And yeah, and he is basically destroying our heroes, the pro heroes, by slaughtering them all. And with Momo's dialogue continuing, that's why we're alive. As the students who were in that fight managed to get away because of using the power of Majestic's hoops to transport them far away, with Momo saying, Majestic! As we cut away to Majestic as he gets his own dialogue until, well, for all we know. As he says, your decisions and actions were correct. You kids played this right. Whatever happens now, don't ever doubt that, as the students fly away. And basically, Giga just basically slaughters them all like gnats, as we cut to Mushroom and Mineta, with Mushrooms continuing saying, "Hey, shouldn't the sedative have kicked in by now, Shroom?" And yeah, I was asking the same question for the previous chapter, so it should have kicked in right now.
Make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan.
So why is he still moving? And Mineta continues saying, "Our decisions, our moves." As we cut to the next page, Mineta continues saying, "Did we do the right thing? Really? And the heroes, too? Did they make the right choices?" As we see, we have an injured Hawks, who may or may not have his quirk anymore after his wings getting super burnt by Dobby, and we see Giga still rampaging through the city as we get a few of the Quirk Liberation Army soldiers, with Mineta continuing saying, "Seriously, this whole nightmare? Did we just made it worse?" And we see on the next page, we see Giga in his fully armored state going towards the master, or Shigaraki. Still, that Giga is basically an unstoppable juggernaut at this point, with him saying, "Onwards to master." As we see the rest of the League of Villains and Skeptic still riding on his back, assuring their victory is inevitable. After that bit of depression kicks in, we quickly cut back to President Mike with the Mad Doctor, while the Mad Doctor continuing saying, "You don't say. He's really coming. You nearly had us beat if not for that one slip up." And with the police saying, "Shut up," while they're taking the Mad Doctor away. Shigaraki's waking up turned everything on its head. And we have President Mike just watching the Mad Doctor as the Mad Doctor continues. "Gigantomachia is a calamity who lives and dies for his master's sake. The foot soldiers we call Nomu were modeled after the big fella. Because every king needs his soldiers, right? Good, strong ones." And yeah, we got it. We kind of already figured this out, that basically the Mad Doctors just tried to make the Nomus as strong as Giga, and Giga was basically the prototype of what the Nomus were supposed to be. And now we cut back to the destruction with Shigaraki, while the Mad Doctor continuing saying, "And now, with Makia on the move, total destruction is inevitable. Shigaraki will bring you hero-saturated society crumbling down." As we quickly cut back to the fight with Shigaraki, Midoriya, and Aizawa, blah blah, you get the rest. As we continue on to the next page with Shigaraki fully in power, and now he's practically invincible at this point. As we cut to the next page, we cut back to Endeavor and Shoto, with Endeavor saying, "Shoto," as Shoto continues, "I had to help Rikyu and them first. Cool off with that ice. It should at least provide some comfort." And Endeavor just takes the idea and just cools down for a while, so he'll be back in the fight soon. As we quickly cut away to Bakugo, where behind Bakugo is the dead corpse of Gran Torino, who's still dead. And Bakugo just gets super huffy puffy and angry, saying, "Damn it!" As we quickly cut back to Aizawa with Midoriya and Gridlock and Manuel, with, I don't know who's talking here, but I think it's Gridlock saying, "Elevate his legs and stop the bleeding with his binding cloth. Crap, it gets tangled so easily. What's with this cloth?" As we see Lockdown continues saying, "Deku, just run." As yeah, Shigaraki's now got his quirks back, and now he can try and steal Midoriya's quirk, but Midoriya, in a big huff and puff, being super pissed now, won't see no reason, and he just says no. As we quickly cut back to Shigaraki getting back up from the god mode, with him basically saying, well, time to die. But before Shigaraki can make the first move, okay. Before Shigaraki makes the first move, strangely enough, he has a huge gouge in front of him. Even Shigaraki's surprised by that, saying, huh? And Midoriya looks at it, and now we get into his inner monologue for a bit, saying, that's right. And Shigaraki continues saying, ah, I see, I get why I was all busted up just a second ago, with Shigaraki wobbling and the giant cut in front of him. I had pushed past my body's limits to keep moving. And now we go into Shigaraki's inner monologue saying, but now my hyper regen quirk is back. My body shouldn't have any limits at all. And on the next page, we have Shigaraki having the weirdest look in front of his face, completely confused about what's going on with him, basically saying, what's today's date? In a weird, confused statement. And we cut back to Midoriya as he starts talking, saying, it's body. And we get into Midoriya's inner monologue saying, Gran Torino said he got the All for One quirk transplanted to him. As we get on to the last page, the last panel of the page, we get a huge amount of flashbacks of Midoriya breaking his body throughout the entire series, and yeah, Midoriya realized, yeah, Shigaraki has basically the same problem. He's using too much power for his body to keep up with, so he's not in full control right now, with Midoriya saying, that power is too much for his body to keep up with. And so we cut to our next page. We have, and I see why the title was called the 75 in a reference to the completion status of 75% with Shigaraki. So I guess, yeah, that percentage was supposed to say, yeah, he wouldn't be so because Mukuro kind of interrupted his healing process. It kind of screws up his so there are limits to Shigaraki's power at the moment. As we quickly cut away back to Mukuro, who is still alive at this point, and by someone who's taking Mukuro away to the doctor, saying, stay with us, Mukuro. And Mukuro is still alive, huffing and puffing, trying to stay alive with this stranger, saying, you win this by staying alive, and you will win. As we cut back to Shigaraki just saying, screw it, and continue with his inner monologue saying, whatever, hyper regeneration is still working. As he gets ready to touch the ground doing his decay wave again, with Midoriya just using Black Whip, and Shigaraki's just gonna say, screw this, I'm gonna kill you all now, and forget my new objective. As with Shigaraki saying, one touch should end this. As he touches the ground, causes huge decay wave again. But on the next page, we get, okay, we have Midoriya somehow jumping into the air and grabbing everybody who's still alive, including Bakugo and Aizawa and Shota, Endeavor, and everybody else to dodge the decay wave. And we have lockdowns basically saying, we're floating! As we get I think it's supposed to imply that Gran Torino is still conscious a little, getting close to death's door, with him saying, one for alls, the seventh users, as we get a little flashback of Nana Shimura with Gran Torino still barely alive from getting Ibathon to death, with him saying, "That's Shimura's float." And we have Midoriya, and we now know that Midoriya has finally unlocked Nana Shimura's float quirk is finally in his arsenal. With Midoriya for the last bit of the dialogue for the chapter, with him saying, "Up here is where I'll beat you. I swear it, with all I got." And yeah, Midoriya has now unlocked Float from Nana Shimura, and now he's going to use it to defeat Shigaraki in his Nemesis form. And that's the end of the chapter with, we will not be getting another My Hero Academia chapter until September 18th, so 2 weeks from now, which is sad. It was kind of known that we are getting another break, so yeah, Midoriya has Float now, and hopefully it will not go super crazy, super quick with what happened with Black Whip the first time. And that is My Hero Academia Chapter 283. And yeah, we finally get Midoriya has Float now, and now he can basically fly and dodge Shigaraki's Decay Wave, and basically get all the our heroes to safety. And I doubt that the secret of all for one for all is not gonna stay hidden forever now, because how is Midoriya gonna cover his ass with his new float quirk now unlocked to him? So until then, I will see you all in 2 weeks with My Hero Academia Chapter 284. So until then, have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you on the next chapter. So bye for now.